All right, let's talk about something that's on a lot of people's minds, buying a new car. You can almost smell it, right? That new car smell, the flawless paint, all the latest gadgets. But before you start browsing dealership websites, we really need to talk, because that dream is crashing head on into a pretty tough financial reality right now. And hey, let's be real, the pull is strong. A new car isn't just about getting from point A to point B. For a lot of us, it feels like a milestone, a symbol of making it. It's an emotional thing, but it's so important to hit the pause button on that feeling and just look at the cold hard numbers. And here's the first number that'll probably make you do a double take. The average sticker price for a new car is sitting at just shy of $46,000. That's up almost 3% in just 1 year. Just let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about a fancy luxury SUV here. That is the average price. So what does a price tag like that actually boil down to every month? Well, it means the average car payment is now about $750. For a lot of families, that's right up there with a rent or mortgage payment. It's a huge slice of the monthly budget. But wait, it gets even more extreme. Get this. A full 20% of new car buyers, that's 1 in every 5 people driving off the lot, have a monthly payment over $1,000. Think about that. $1,000 a month, every single month, just for your car. Wow. So the prices are wild. The payments are eye-watering. The big question is, how did we even get to this point? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a whole bunch of powerful economic forces all swirling together. It's really the definition of a perfect storm. You've got tariffs that make the basic materials to build cars more expensive. Then layer on top of that the inflation we're all feeling everywhere. Meanwhile, for a lot of people, wages just aren't keeping up and job security feels a little shaky. And to cap it all off, those manufacturer rebates and 0% financing deals that used to be everywhere, yeah, they've pretty much vanished. Now, with prices so high, you'd think people would just stop buying, right? But they haven't. So how are they managing it? Well, that's where things start to get pretty risky. A lot of it comes down to something called subprime lending. Let's quickly break that down just so we're all on the same page. A subprime loan is basically a loan for someone whose credit score isn't perfect. And because the bank or the lender sees that person as a higher risk, they charge a much higher interest rate to make up for it. And that's the trap. The loan ends up costing way more over time. And we're not talking about some tiny niche part of the market either. A solid 14% of these subprime car loans are going to people with credit scores below 650. To put that in perspective, that's a score that can make it hard to get approved for even a simple credit card, let alone a $40,000 plus loan. So what happens when you combine expensive loans with borrowers who are already on shaky ground? The cracks start to show fast. Right now, 6% of these subprime borrowers are already seriously behind on their payments, at least 60 days late. That is a huge red flag for the whole system. And don't think for a second this is just a few small-time lenders. The biggest names in the auto industry are exposed. While Ford is playing it relatively safe, a full 12% of General Motors' entire loan business is with borrowers who have credit scores below 620. When an absolute giant like GM is carrying that much risk, it's a concern for the entire economy. So you have these sky-high payments and these incredibly risky loans all building up pressure, and it all leads to an inevitable and, frankly, heartbreaking outcome: repossessions. And this isn't just a statistic, 1.7 million. That's the number of people and families who had their car taken away because they couldn't make the payments. For so many, that's not just losing a car. It's losing your way to get to work, to get groceries, to live your life. It's just devastating. And to really grasp how bad this is, you need some context. This is the highest number of car repossessions we have seen since the Great Financial Crisis back in 2009. Yeah, that crisis. It's a massive signal that something is fundamentally broken in this market. The sheer dollar amount tied up in all this is just staggering. We're looking at a projected $98 million in defaulted loans between 2022 and 2025. That's an enormous amount of bad debt sending ripples through the financial system. So when you put all the pieces together, the soaring prices, the $1,000 payments, the subprime loan trap, and this historic wave of repossessions, it really boils down to this one simple question. And it's a question every single person should be asking themselves before they even think about stepping foot in a dealership.